developing the right programs and policies for execution. He had been instrumental in the 80s and 90s and even the early millennium in University of Delhi for organizing the maximum refresher courses and orientation programs, which were attended in all, I would say, by thousands of teachers who benefited through them. And that too, with the utmost humility. His energy is unmatched, the zeal is infectious, and his planning, as I said earlier, immaculate. He has the ability to create the right environment for a teamwork, respecting each individual's talent. And I think the USP is that he makes sure that each minutest detail is worked out. Thank you, sir, for not for guiding us and for mentoring us. And now I call him to welcome the guests present for today's program. Over to you, Dr. Jail Gupta, sir.
Dr. Rekha Dayal for the nice words, though I do not deserve. But since you are closely associated, so therefore you always appreciate. Now, very good afternoon to all. For me, it's a matter of pride and honor to be in the midst of a galaxy of distinguished guests sitting around us. Very soon, our chief guest, CA Dr. Girish Ahuja, who is also known as popularly Bhisham Pitamaha of income tax, is likely to join. The same way, Mr. Russell Guthrie, Chief Financial Officer, International Federation of Accountants USA, is also likely to join soon. Then we have got present CA Rajendra Kumar ji, eminent personality, CA Rahul Agrawal, co-author of a very good book and a very well-known personality. Then in the meanwhile, in the midst of us, we have got Nageshwar ji. I think he has joined. Nageshwar ji.
Ji sir, Nageshwar sir has also joined and Russell sir has also joined, sir.
Oh, very good, very good. That's good. Professor visible नहीं है? Huh?
सर है सर, सर ने वीडियो ऑन नहीं किया है. सर इज विजिबल.
नहीं, वीडियो भी ऑन है, आप देखिए वीडियो भी ऑन है.
सर वेलकम सर. नमस्कार नमस्कार सर. वेलकम वेलकम. Professor Nageshwar Rao, distinguished personality, the Vice Chancellor Indira Gandhi National Open University, the biggest university of the country in distance education mode. Sanjeev Singhal ji, you all know, he needs no introduction. Delhi University gold medalist and so many degrees he have taken. Besides, he has written a number of books also. At present, he is member Central Council of ICI. Professor, then we have got the personality, Professor G. Soral, our own man, President of Indian Accounting Association, former Dean and Professor, Department of Accountancy and Statistics, Mohanlal Sukhadia, University of Rajasthan. Let us welcome Professor G.L. Soral ji. Professor S.P. Agrawal, backbone of the program, Principal of the Ramanujan College, member Dr. Anjali Gupta, Dr. Rekha Dayal, other members of the organizing team, colleagues, friends, and participants from all over the country. I welcome you all to this inaugural function of the certificate course in Direct Taxes and GST, organized by Ramanujan College in association with Indian Accounting Association NCR chapter. This certificate course on Direct Taxes and GST has been designed to help corporate and practicing professionals, faculty members deal with new regulatory requirements, increase their awareness, and develop an understanding of the latest laws promulgated in the direct taxes and GST. To my mind, this is a golden opportunity for the participants to learn from the masters of the subject, as each and every resource person is a renowned faculty. Apart from the comprehensive theoretical aspects, it will be our endeavor to sharpen the expertise and excellence of the participants through the exposure to be given by learned resource persons. At the end, I wish all the participants a big success in completing the course effectively and enhancing their knowledge in the direct taxes and GST. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Our youngest member, Dr. J.L. Gupta, has very rightly said the importance and significance of the program. Now we take the program forward by calling upon Dr. S.P. Agarwal, Principal, Ramanujam College, to not only welcome the guests, but also to explain to them about the Teaching Learning Center, as well as the programs that we have been conducting. Dr. S.P. Agarwal radiates energy, enthusiasm, and enterprising spirit. He's an embodiment of hard work, effort, and endurance. As the head of the institution, he made sure that the college surges ahead and the college definitely has nudged every other college out of its pace. A man with a rare combination of humility, subtlety, discipline, and dedication. And of course, the most calm and relaxed exterior that I have ever come across. Over to you, Dr. S.P. Agarwal, sir.
Thank you, Rekhaji. Good afternoon and welcome to all our dignitaries and participants who have joined us today. Our chief guest for today, Tax Guru CA Dr. Girish Ahuja ji, who will be joining us shortly. Not only a veteran tax.
Sir, I have joined. I have already joined, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Welcome, sir.
I have joined, sir. I have joined.
Sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Not only veteran tax consultant, a prolific writer, we all have studied his books. Best teacher of tax in the country. Then our special guest, Mr. Russell Guthrie, who is a CFO of International Federation of Accountants, New York. Sir, I once visited the headquarters of IFAC way back in 1988 when I was a student in University of Texas. Our distinguished guest, Professor Nageshwar Rao, Vice Chancellor IGNOU, CA Rajendra Kumar, Chairman of and Indirect Tax Committee of ICAI, Mr. Sachin Jain, Revenue Service Officer, I think could not join us. Then CA Rahul, Professor G. Soral ji, International Association and former Dean and Professor, Department of Accounting and Statistics, ML Sukhadia University. Our own Dr. Sanjeev Singhal, President, International Accounting Association, NCR Chapter, Dr. J.L. Gupta, Secretary, NCR Chapter, and Member, Executive Council, Delhi University, Dr. Rekha Dayal, Dr. Ranjali Gupta, and all our dear participants. I welcome you on behalf of Teaching Learning Center, Ramanujan College, Delhi University, and also on behalf of International Indian Accounting Association, NCR Chapter. Friends, Indian Accounting Association is a all India body divided into various chapters. So we are basically representing the NCR chapter. This is a interface between academicians and professionals. And NCR chapter is very active chapter, I can say, in the country. And in the last 5 years, we have organized various programs for professionals, educationists, and students. Some of our programs are annual feature, just like diploma course in International Financial Reporting Standards and IND-AS, where we have already trained about more than 1,000 professionals all over India. We also organize faculty development programs like this today on direct taxes, GST, accounting standards, then FDPs on research methodology and teaching pedagogy. So basically in last 5 years, we have organized more than 20 programs in the area of training of teachers, professionals, and students. Regarding Ramanujan College, it's a Delhi University maintained institution, 100% funded by UGC through MHRD. And we offer about 15 undergraduate honors courses, mainly mathematical sciences, management, commerce, humanities, and languages. These are our fortes. And then we have about 3,000 students with 200 faculty and other staff members to facilitate the functioning of the college. Not only that, the college is a newly created entity established only in 2012. We have state-of-art building with modern labs. And in 2017, the college was given the responsibility of training of teachers under the scheme of Teaching Learning Center through Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission for Teachers and Teaching to train teachers in various pedagogies, research, and ICT technology. And you all will be glad to know that college has organized during this COVID pandemic about 20 programs, and we have trained more than 60 teachers. Also, some of them are professional and students together. So this is the kind of thing which the institution has undertaken, and our main focus is on online teaching pedagogy, development of MOOCs, and subject-based, just like this direct tax and GST. Today's program is basically on direct taxes and GST. It's a one-week program, and it is meant for teachers, professionals, and students. It is to guide them, to make them understand the practical aspect, practical application of direct taxes and GST, so that they can file their own things and they can understand the concept. With this, since the program will be highlighted more by Sanjeev Singhal, I once again welcome all of you to this program, and I'm sure the participants will really enjoy the program, because the best in the country which is available in these areas will be taking these sessions with you. So with this, once again, thank you and welcome to all. Over to Rekha.
Thank you so much, Dr. S.P. Agrawal. I'm sure with you as the backbone and with Dr. J.L. Gupta steering the whole program and Dr. Sanjeev Singhal executing it, it sure is going to be extremely successful to hear from the masters themselves. Now, I would like to request Dr. Sanjeev Singhal, President, Indian Accounting Association NCR chapter, to give an overview. Dr. Sanjeev Singhal is a partner in assurance practices with S.R. Bartley Boy and Company. He's a member of the prestigious Central Council of Institute of Chartered Accountancy of India, a brilliant academician, and of course, his professional competencies. There is no word that I have except to say, sir, you excel in all your areas, particularly the accounting standards. And let me also inform the August gathering, he's a topper, alumnus of Delhi University, and a topper through and through with his PhD from the Faculty of Management Studies. Over to you, Dr. Sanjeev Singhal.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rekha Dayal. At the outset, I would like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. And because that's become a common trend, because and particularly today, I'm so happy to welcome Mr. Russell Guthrie, our friend from the IFAC, the highest body of the accountants across the world, and with more than 150 jurisdictions across the world being part of the IFAC. So Mr. Russell Guthrie, the CFO and Executive Director, External Affairs of IFAC, I extend a very warm welcome to him. And of course, our chief guest for the day, Dr. Girish Ahuja. He's not only a chief guest, he's a mentor to me, he's a guide to me. I've been a student at the Shri Ram College of Commerce. So it's a 3-decade, I would say that I have the blessings. I have his blessings from last 3 decades. And I hope that it lasts for another 4 or 5 decades. And then, of course, Rajendra Kumarji, who is the Honorable Central Council member and the chairman of the Direct Taxes Committee. Sachin, my schoolmate, would also try to join, but he's in the Narcotics Control Bureau. So he says if a case is there, if anything comes up, I may not be able to join. And my esteemed Dr. J.L. Gupta, Dr. S.P. Agarwal, Dr. Rekha Dayal, and my co-author also present, Rahul Agarwalji. I'll be requesting Dr. Girish Ahuja to launch our book on the ICDS. Let me give a brief overview because we are also waiting to hear all the esteemed speakers. So this 1 week program focuses on twin aspects of the taxation system in India, the direct taxes as well as the indirect taxes. Indirect tax will be covering the GST. And the sessions which we have in the direct taxes are on the presumptive taxation, practical aspects of transfer pricing, some of the landmark judgments of the Supreme Court, set off and carry forward of losses and clubbing of income, taxation of foreign remittances, then how to write wills and do personal tax planning, and issues in the capital gain. In the GST, we'll be covering input tax credit, reverse charge and advance ruling under GST, GST audit, GSTR 9 and GSTR 9C, monthly return in GST, job work, TDS and TCS, supply and deemed supply under GST, mover and AEO schemes and assessments under GST. And more so, the speakers which are in this program, as Dr. Rekha Dayal and Dr. S.P. Agarwal have also said, there is no parallel to them. If I have to talk about Dr. Girish Ahuja, so he is the tax guru of this beloved country, addressed more than 3,000 seminars, and has written and has co-authored 26 books with Dr. Ravi Gupta. There's no parallel to him in the direct taxation field. And his co-author and my guru, again, Dr. Ravi Gupta, will also be taking 2 sessions in this program. We also have CA Pradeep Denodia, who's the senior most partner of the very renowned taxation firm SR Denodia. Then we have Rahul Gupta, who's a partner with Pricewaterhouse, Vijay Iyer, partner with Ernst & Young. And then in the GST, we have Ashok Batraji, the most renowned speaker in GST in India. Then we have CA Bimal Jain, CA Aditya Agrawal, Kusum Gandhi, Amit Putti Raja, Achal Kapoor, and CA Prashant Raizada. So the faculty has been very, very carefully chosen and is the best available in the country. And since this program has a combination of both channels and the faculty across, so that is where I requested Russell Guthrie to address this esteemed guest in the inaugural session. And before he was very kind enough to accept our request. And it's for the first time in India that in a non-ICI program, a representative from IFAC, and that to a CFO and ED of IFAC, is here with us. Before I invite Russell, let me give a brief introduction. As CFO, Russell is responsible for strategy development, finance and operations. He also oversees memberships and capacity building activities. Mr. Guthrie has previously held various leadership roles within the IFAC, having joined IFAC as director in March 2001. Prior to joining IFAC, he worked for 12 years in the assurance practice of KPMG, and then initially in Dallas, Texas, followed by 2 years in Rotterdam, the Netherlands. He also has extensive experience in the development and maintenance of firm quality control programs, having served for 3 years in Amsterdam in the Netherlands as KPMG's Director of Global Quality Assurance. Mr. Guthrie graduated with honors from the Universities of Texas in 1988, receiving a bachelor's degree in business administration. He's a licensed CPA in the states of Texas and New York, and is a member of the American Institute of CPA. Thank you so much, Russell, for taking out time. And, last time, because of the technology issue, we could only get your best wishes. And so we are fortunate enough that we'll be able to hear from you directly. And once again, thanks from the University of Delhi, Ministry of Education, Ramanujan College and Indian Accounting Association, and on my personal behalf, a very, very warm good morning to you, and over to you, Russell, for your keynote address.
Thank you so much, Sanjeev. Good afternoon to everyone there, to the esteemed guests, to the participants. It's a real pleasure to be with you here today and to share with you a little bit about the work of the International Federation of Accountants, or IFAC, and share with you a couple of thoughts related to taxation and the role of the accounting profession in taxation. Before I begin my remarks, can I just confirm that you can see my slides on the screen? Okay,
yes,
excellent.
Yes, sir. You are
Very
audible
good.
and
Thank
visible.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So IFAC is a global membership organization, and we have more than 175 member organizations in more than 130 countries around the world. So individual professional accountants belong to their national body. Sanjeev mentioned the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, which is one of the two member organizations we have in India. And in totality around the world, that represents more than 3 million professional accountants. So it's the global home for the accounting profession. We also work closely with the major accounting firms around the world. We have an associated organization called the Forum of Firms, which brings together 31 of the largest international accounting networks that perform transnational audits. So the practitioners also are heavily involved in our work. And one of our core areas of activity is to support 3 independent standard setting boards, and they're listed there on the right of the screen, that set international audit standards, the Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, and also the public sector accounting standards. Of course, the International Financial Reporting Standards are set by the IFRS Foundation in London, which is a sister organization of IFAC. So as we've been developing a new strategy over the past year, and so as we have looked out into the environment, we see, of course, the friction in the global economy, the always importance of trust, but perhaps never more than now in terms of the public and business and others really seeking and searching for those professionals, those governments, those institutions where they can place their trust. The focus on sustainability has been there for quite a few years, but I would say in the past 12 months has really accelerated in its importance. And there's a lot of important work going on at the global level in this area, which I'll touch on briefly. The future of work and of education, of course, is rapidly changing as our environment around us changes. Technology, the fact that we can all be joined here together today, just one small example of the way that technology is changing the way that we work and that we live. And we believe there will be a continued focus on the importance of audit and assurance as people seek sources of trust and trust around information. We think that the role that the profession plays in providing audit and assurance will only increase. And of course, this backdrop is of course, underpinned by the global pandemic that we're all experiencing. And that has, in many ways, made many of these issues even more important than ever. So with that, we believe our position as IFAC is to take a long-term approach to building and strengthening the global accounting profession. And in doing so, we think that brings transparency, accountability, and sustainability to organizations, financial markets, and economies. So we believe that the accounting profession is an incredibly important underpinning of economic development and growth. And for this year, for the first time, we are bringing the sustainable development goals directly into the strategy of our organization, and really tying the outcomes that we were working to achieve directly to contributing to those sustainable development goals. And we believe as an organization, as IFAC, we make direct contributions to those SDGs that you see across the top of the slide. And of course, through our, and then indirectly through the work of many other accountants and many other organizations, we undoubtedly touch many of the others along the bottom of the slide as well. So we think in totality, we're making a contribution to this very important agenda. And one of the ways that we are stepping forward as an organization, as IFAC, is we've measured our carbon footprint and are making specific commitments around bringing the carbon footprint down over time, and eventually moving to being carbon neutral as an organization. So our strategy is really threefold. We speak out as the voice for the global profession, and we do that by speaking in various global forums and with other global institutions, and try to bring recognition of the role that the accounting profession plays and the importance of our day-to-day work for the global economy. Related to that, we are trying to build a future-ready profession. There are many things that we have to do as a profession to remain fit for purpose, to make sure that those folks that we're training and educating are ready on day one to enter the workforce. That is rapidly changing, and that means we have to rapidly change our modes of education, the content of our education, and technology, data analytics, cybersecurity, different topics like that I didn't study in school now are very much at the fore of the education of new professional accountants. So we're trying to work with our member organizations and academic institutions to really drive those changes so that we are as fit for purpose as we can be. And then finally, as I mentioned, the importance of high quality standards. We as an organization for 40 years have promoted the importance of international standards. The business of the language of business is truly global, and therefore the commonality and the consistency of accounting standards and auditing standards and ethics standards and so forth is critical, so that as a profession, when an organization, when a business uses the services of a profession in the United States or in India or in Singapore, that they're confident that they're getting the same quality, the same results, and can speak the same language when it comes to the use of those international standards. So maybe a bit more direct to the work that you're going to do in your course over the next several days. Over the past couple years, we have, in conjunction with a couple of our member organizations, surveyed the public in G20 countries on the issue of tax. Through that survey, we learned that the biggest concerns for the public is tax transparency, the degree of complexity in tax systems, the inequality that can arise as a result of those tax systems, and then corruption within the system. Obviously important public concerns, but it's a helpful backdrop for what I'm going to share with you. You may not be surprised to find that there are high levels of distrust in politicians and non-governmental organizations when it comes to their comments or their positions on tax systems. But public trust in professional accountants and lawyers is relatively high in comparison. So let me tell you a little bit more about that and the importance of that. So of all the actors in the tax ecosystem, the public trusts professional accountants more than any other actor or institution in the tax system. So this really underscores the importance of the role of the professional accountant in advising and helping public navigate the tax system, and that your knowledge of tax is absolutely critical to creating that trust and keeping that trust. And so as you work through your training this week, just do keep in mind that this is incredibly important work in the public interest, because to my mind, it's really the professional accountants in this space that keep the system functioning, that keep people paying tax, that can help assure governments that tax collections are as maximized as possible, and that people have trust in the system and therefore are willing to participate in the system. And also too, I would say that probably this trust in professional accountants is probably the single best safeguard against the corruption that people are concerned about when it comes to tax and tax collection and so forth. So the role of the accountant and the role of the professional in this space simply cannot be understated. And of course, you can see there the other institutions, the other actors, the politicians, the media, and government authorities do not enjoy anything like the level of trust that the accountants do. So our individual work in this space, the work of the Indian Accounting Association and academics, and all of those involved in delivering and educating and providing tax services to the public is absolutely vital, and absolutely underpins the role that we play as an accounting profession in the global economy. So I congratulate you. I wish you a very fruitful day, well, several days, I understand, of training. And it's with great pride that I wish you much success. And thank you again for including me this evening. And I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Russell Guthrie. I think it has been extremely beautiful listening to your address to the audience, and I think each one of us has benefited. You have rightly pointed out about, you know, the kind of freedom that the global economy needs, the trust that is important, the sustainability role, the work that we have to do in future, the technology and it's how ubiquitous it has become, and of course the increased focus on audit and assurance. And also, I think the concerns which the G20 countries have really shown, the tax transparency, the complexity, the inequality and corruption. I think you beautifully summarized the whole thing into such a lucid manner that each one of us, I think, even if we don't belong to the world of accountancy, I think it has been understood by all. And lastly, I would say your, the figures that you gave were very interesting. And I do wish that I'm sure the same kind of figures we would have even in our own country, where 65% of people trust professional tax accountants, while 55% distrust politicians and 35% distrust media. I think each one of this is a value addition for all of us here listening to you there early morning and the warm, beautiful afternoon that we have here. Thank you so much for joining with all of us today and giving us these inputs. Now, before I call upon our chief guest to speak, there is a moment of great pride for all of us here, particularly the Indian Accounting Association NCR chapter, as we are releasing a book written by our president, CA Dr. Sanjeev Singhal and CA Rahul Agrawalji. It is a quick reference guide to ICDS, income computation and disclosure standards and corresponding amendments in Income Tax Act 1961. I think it's a momentous occasion for all of us today that at the inaugural function, we are able to release this book. I request Dr. Girish Ahuja and Mr. Russell Guthrie to virtually release this book today on this.
Sir, unless the book is in my hand, I don't want to release it. The book should be in my hand. The book. Okay.
This is the
Good luck
book,
to.
sir.
I really wish best of luck to Sanjeev Kumar Agarwal, Sanjeev Sangalwal and Rahul Agarwal. They really have done a wonderful job. I know that he has written so many books earlier also, but this is also corresponding amendment in Income Tax Act. So that's why Rahul is also associated with it. But I will request Russell, Mr. Russell, to do take the card. Sir, it is your now prerogative.
I virtually accept the book and present it to the group, and with great pride, and to launch this book today, and to be a part of that. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations to both of them.
Congratulations, Dr. Sanjeev Singhal and Mr. Rahul Agrawal, CA Mr. Rahul Agrawal. And thank you so much, Mr. Russell Guthrie and Dr. Girish Ahuja, sir, for unveiling this book. Now, I would like to call upon our chief guest for today, Dr. Girish Ahuja, who's a great scholar and a veteran direct tax consultant known as the Bhishma Pitamah and that is Dr. J.L. Gupta, who's his batchmate, his favorite epitaph for him. Overawed by his personality, I would say, which is reflected in the humility and perspicacity in his work. Dr. Girish Ahuja is a product of University of Delhi, beginning his career from Shri Ram College of Commerce, BCom Honours, then MCom from Delhi School of Economics. He added his doctorate from the Faculty of Management Studies. Dr. Girish Ahuja superannuated as one of the most sought after faculties from Shri Ram College of Commerce, which is the premier institution for commerce, I would say, in India. He was nominated by the government to the very prestigious Central Council of Institute of Company Secretaries of India for 2 terms. As a director on the board of many companies, Dr. Girish Ahuja was instrumental in contributing to their growth and development. He has been on the Tax Reforms Committee of the Government of India, and in fact on all the prominent committees that have been constituted by the Government of India. Dr. Girish Ahuja has co-authored many books which are read both by professionals as well as the postgraduate and undergraduate students. He has been invited to deliver lectures all across the country. And I think he is unparalleled in the area of direct taxes. I would request Dr. Girish Ahuja, sir, to address the audience.
Good evening to all. The person behind this whole show, principal of the Ramanujan College, and very good friend, Dr. S.V. Agarwal. Sanjeev Singhal, of course, the Central Council member, and a very bright and energetic person who has also written so many books, I know that. We have with us an old friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, right from college, Dr. J.L. Gupta. Lekin I take strong objection to Rekha Dayal saying me veteran. I'm very young. Don't call me veteran in future, please. Don't call me veteran.
Sir, you are the youngest member.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying don't call me veteran. I take objection to that. So Rajendra
Objection sustained.
Rajendra Kumarji, a very good friend of mine, of course, Central Council member and the chairman of the Indirect Tax Committee. We have worked with a really wonderful person sitting with me. Of course, Dr. J.L. Gupta, so I've already named. He is instrumental of everything, you know. Then we have Professor G. Soral. I have Abba, of course, my niece, also sitting here. Prashottam Arya ji. Abba Vadwa, of course, have said. Ambika Agarwal ji. Sanjeev Singhal have already mentioned. Rahul Agrawal. Rajendra Kumar, you mentioned. Vaishno Bhatnagar. Charu Sareen. Dr. Anjali Gupta. They're all sitting here. So I have to, Professor Nageshwar Rao. Sorry, I named later. And of course, above all, Dr. Rekha Dayal. Ladies and gentlemen. Well, friends, I gave a passing remark last time that I will come only when you conduct program on direct tax. And Sanjeev took immediate note of that. And he was supposed to take a program on indirect tax. he suddenly changed it to direct and indirect tax. Thank you, Sanjeev. Thank you, Sanjeev, for doing that. But my purpose was different because it was Dutch for me. What you were talking last time, it was really Dutch for me. And what I'm going to talk to you may become Dutch for you also, because our Income Tax Act is most difficult act in the country. Everyone knows who are student of income tax what kind of a law we have. We have sections, under that we have subsections, we have clauses, under that we have sub-clauses. And if I ask somebody here, anyone, after sub-clause, what comes, nobody will be able to tell me. But let me tell you, after sub-clause, there is item. After item, there is sub-item. And after that, there is first proviso. We say provided that. Then there is a second proviso, provided further that. Then there is a third proviso, provided also that. Then you keep on adding the proviso by saying provided also that, provided also that. As Rekha will say, or somebody will say last on, I also thank. Then again, I also thank such and such person. I also thank. I also thank. Similarly, we also add provided also, provided also, provided also. There are 20 proviso in one section called section 10 clause 23C. And jail, Gupta ji, and still it is not complete. You have explanation number 1, explanation number 2, or maybe 3, 4 explanation. There are 7 explanation in section 9, and still it is not complete. You are asking for full stop. The comma is probably after 6 lines. This is the fate of our Income Tax Act. Nobody is able to understand. Let me give you a relief. We have redrafted the income tax law. I was one of the members of the task force to redraft the income tax for the whole country. There are 570 sections approximately. Somebody will say there are only 298 sections in Income Tax Act. He is wrong. You read it, it is 298 section. But he does not understand that there is section 44. Then 44 capital A is a separate section. Section 44 double A is a separate section. 44 AB is a separate section. 44 AD, 44 AE, 44 B, 44 double B, 44 BBA, 44 triple B, 44 D, 44 DDA, 44 DDB. These are all different sections. So there are 570 sections in income tax today. We have reduced it to 270 sections only. Without any proviso, no proviso except explanation. There's absolutely nothing. We have done it, but wait and watch. The chartered accountant sitting in front of me will find loopholes in the law, and we will have to add, provided that, further provided that. What can we do? When the Income Tax Act 1961 came, it was such a small book. Today, it is voluminous book. And today also, when we have made this law, which may have not seen the light of the day, we have already given to the finance minister, but they are looking into that. I'm telling you, these professionals are going to put us again in difficulty, including me, no doubt, although I have made, but we have find out loopholes in the law, and we then plug the loopholes by introducing more sections, because there was no section called 44A, 44AB, 44AD. You know, there are sections for business and profession 28 to 44. 22 to 27 is for house property. Now, if you want to add 45 to 55 is capital gain. If you want to add one more section in business chapter, what will you do? Because it is watertight, 28 to 44. So what will you do? So we start adding 35, 35 capital A, 35 AB, 35 AC, 35 AD, there's like 44, 44, 44A, 44 AA, 44 AB, 44 AD. So you keep on adding the sections in the same compartment of 28 to 44. Similarly, we have done other places. So the act has become very difficult, very cumbersome, really it is very challenging job to understand. One day I said, Rahul is sitting here. Rahul, you do one thing. You read one section every day. You will learn something. Sir, I will not be able to understand because act is difficult. We will read your book, not the act. I said, at least read one section every day. Gupta ji and Agarwal sahab, he read the section. After about 4.5 hours time, I get a call. Sir, well, what happened? Sir, one section I've taken 4 hours to read it. I said, don't worry. At least you have understood one section. Sir, wait, try to listen to me. I said, what happened? Sir, it is at the last, it was written, it is not applicable from assessment year 2010-11. So what to do, sir? I wasted my 4.5 hours time, and the last line says it is not applicable from assessment year 2010-11. I said, did you ask me how to read it? Next time, whenever you read income tax section, first read the last line and then read the section whether it is applicable. This is the fate of our law. This is the fate of our law. So what I'm trying to explain, people don't want to read income tax act. They would like to read the book, but not the income tax act. But we have tried to make it simple. And I'm assuring you that the income tax law is a very good law, made earlier also. I'm not denying, challenging now. Challenging. And the same is the fate of indirect tax. But in the case of indirect tax GST, they are governed by many notifications, So many notifications come in GST that you lose track of that. I've been also writing on GST, but only up to the intermediate level. Beyond that is not by possible. It is Rajendra, Kumar and the others who can really do wonders in the GST. They are the expert in that. So I don't want to say anything on GST, but a good job done, particularly by Ramanuj College and Dr. S.V. Agarwal. He has been taking keen interest, I tell you. Everybody I've been seeing for so many years, he had been taking keen interest in organizing such types of programs, which are going to benefit both to the faculties. You have many members of faculty joined here, and as well as to the professional at large. So this is going to be a wonderful thing. Sir, hats off to you. You really put your so many, always interested in taking up these blessings, sir. Yes, of course. Sanjeev, Dr. J.L. Gupta, Rekha Dayal, Dr. Anjali Gupta, they are all helping. But at least somebody should be there who has shown interest that I am ready to do it. I'm providing you all facility. I'm providing you everything. You come and conduct the program. We'll be most willing to give certificates. So this is what is required. And Sanjeev has taken up a job. Of course, Sanjeev is guided by Dr. J.L. Gupta. They are also very close to each other. जैसे Sanjeev is close to me, similarly, he's very close to Dr. J.L. Gupta. And Dr. J.L. Gupta, we did come together. वो ठीक है, वो लग रहे हैं ज़्यादा बूढ़े, मैं नहीं लग रहा. मैं नहीं लग रहा. I'm very young. So we are of the same age, no doubt. Maybe we are of the same age. He may be feeling old. I'm not feeling old at all. I'm saying I'm very young. And I want to, the only credit goes to the Shriram College of Commerce. And particularly when a teacher interacts with the students, he always feels young. I don't go for a walk with the old people. I don't go for a walk with the old people. I remain with the young people. You remain here, the young people, you will remain young. And if you start talking to the old people like Dr. J.L. Gupta every day, then you are gone. Sir, please don't. So be young, not from, be hard at the young. Don't feel, because let me tell you, one principle you should have in mind. Be positive and leave it to the God. God is great. Let me tell you, God is great. So don't have any tension. हम बोलते हैं टेंशन लेने की चीज नहीं है, देने की चीज है. दीजिए किसी और को टेंशन, अपने पास मत रखिए. Don't keep tension. If you don't keep tension, you are going to really, you ready to grow. मेरे point बार-बार note कीजिए. Everybody has tension. I am not denying that fact. But it is how you manage the things and you keep yourself healthy. That will help you. Rest. All the best to all of you for conducting such program, because I have another program lined up at 6 o'clock. So thank you very much. Take care. Please. Thank you. All the best. Please.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Thank you so much, Dr. Girish Ahuja. And I don't think, Sir, when we called you veteran, we only called you veteran for direct taxes, never in terms of I've been meeting you for the last so many years. But I think you and Dr. JL Gupta take the cake for being the youngest members. And I've always called Dr. JL Gupta the Dabar ka model. And I shall call you.
मैंने तो अपने से ऊपर कर दिया उनको.
Sir, वो तो ऊपर है.
कर दिया.
Agreed, sir. And looking at you itself.
Dr. Rekha, आप डाबर का नहीं, आप बाबा रामदेव वाला चमन.
बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं संजीव भाई, बिल्कुल ठीक कह रहे हैं कि अब बाबा रामदेव का कहना पड़ेगा.
रामदेव, डॉक्टर रेखा, रामदेव इनके एडमायरर हैं.
तीन मेरे घर में.
Oh my God.
अभी 4 घंटे, अभी आए थे 3 दिन पहले 4 घंटे बैठ के गए हैं.
सर, सर वो जो चमक दिख रही है ना डॉक्टर संजीव सिंगल के फेस के ऊपर, नाउ वी नो द रीजन वेयर इट्स कमिंग फ्रॉम. बाबा रामदेव जी की.
Sir, you have to keep everyone happy. I'm telling you, otherwise such a formal program, such a formal program, and a chief guest, you have made me chief guest who is talking nonsense, or let me say sense or nonsense, I don't know, but I always keep myself happy.
सर जो आप
थैंक यू एवरेस्ट टू
थैंक यू सर आई थिंक जो मंत्र आपने दिया है.
बाय बाय राजेंद्र जी, बाय बाय.
थैंक यू मच.
थैंक यू सर.
Thank you so much, sir.
Girish, we are indebted to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we are really indeed grateful to Dr. Girish Ahuja for giving us the biggest mantra to be happy and to be positive. Now I would request CA Dr. Sanjeev Singhal to introduce our distinguished guest of honor, Shri CA Rajendra Kumar ji, who's Chairman GST and Indirect Taxes, who's a partner at Sanjeev Shah and Associates. Over to you, Dr. Sanjeev Singhal. So you are not audible. Dr. Singhal, you are not audible. Dr. Singhal, you are not audible.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rekha Dayal.
संजीव के कनेक्शन में कुछ प्रॉब्लम है.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Are you able to?
Yeah.
Are you able to hear me now?
It's okay now.
Yes.
Sure. Thank you. So thank you, Dr. Rekha Dayal, and a very good evening once again. It's a pleasure to introduce my elder brother in the council, CA Rajendra Kumar ji. It's a mutual admiration society. He calls me as his guru on IFRS, and I call him my guru for the GST. CA Rajendra Kumar ji is the chairman GST and Indirect Tax Committee of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. He works so hard. I can tell you that, in this year itself, he has launched 11 publications at one go in one of the program of ICI. These publications were on GST. And he goes through each and every line in every publication. And besides being an expert in GST, he's a great singer and, a great contributor to the meetings of the Central Council of ICI. His professional accomplishments, if I have to say that, is a member of Technical Advisory Group on Consumption Taxes to Working Party 9, OECD, Paris, France. He's a non-official independent director of Central Warehousing Corporation. But he's a man of his words. Above all, he's a man of his words. Last 20 days, 15 days have been very challenging for him personally. Lost his father on 8th of October, but his commitment to the profession is immense and he's here amongst us. I really, whenever I meet him, he's so humble, so respectful to everyone and non-controversial, totally non-controversial. His fan following is immense. I've been to one of the programs at Chennai hall. I mean, it's packed to capacity. His organizing capabilities are uncomparable. So I'm really fortunate to have a mentor like him in the council, and really fortunate that he is able to join us today. And Rajendra bhai, our salute to you, your dedication to the profession, and we would request you to kindly share your words of wisdom with all of us and the esteemed participants. Over to you, Rajendra bhai.
Dr. Sanjeev Singalji, thank you very much for bringing me in contact with so many intellectuals. I feel as an odd man out in this great intellectual gathering that is there here with us. Dr. Girish Ahuja ji, Dr. J.L. Gupta ji, Madam Rekha Dayal, and other intellectuals of the Ramanujan University, then Indian Accounting Association, all other faculties and professionals and students who are attending this certificate course. Good evening to each and every one of you. I am confident that all of you and your near and dear ones are doing well, and all of us are facing this challenge of COVID in the best of our abilities. And as Dr. Girish Ahuja ji said, God is always great. Yes, we believe in God, and yes, God is great. Esteemed friends, we are actually today going to speak on GST, and all of you are also going to attend this particular 7-day course. I would like to tell you something which may be surprising, or which you may know also already. India is not the only country in the world which implements GST, the Goods and Services Tax. It is one of the components of the consumption taxes that we call in the world. India joins the league of 150 plus countries of the world which levies the consumption tax, which is GST, in the form of GST, 150 plus countries. Which means if you read the Indian GST law, the basic principles, and if you read the Australian GST law, the basic principles, if you read the European Union VAT, if you read the United Kingdom's VAT, if you read the South African GST, if you read the Brazil or the South Americans GST, or VAT as they call, you will find that you have read this somewhere, which means that principally we belong to 150 plus countries of the world, and that gives a great opportunity for all of us to work in any of these 150 plus countries of the world. But India, let me tell you, esteemed friends, prior to the Indian launching of GST, since 2014, I have been the technical advisory group member of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, in short for OECD, which basically lays down guidelines on taxation and which does work on economy, agriculture, and so on of world countries. So whenever I visited Paris for our meetings, there always used to be a discussion in the evenings or in the sidelines of a break, etc., that India is working towards GST. India is a federal country. So many states are there. So central administration is there. There are so many legislations. You have the legacy of the British of the levying the central excise duty. Your service taxes is just about 2 decades old, and on so on. And with so many differences that is there in this country, we are just waiting to know how India can implement GST, which is one legislation and one single rate of tax for a product across the country. Friends, look at our country as a whole. Is it a country? No, I beg to differ. India is a world. So much diversity. You have rivers, lakes, oceans, agriculture, forest, snow, desert. Food habits are different. The religious diversity is so different. India is a world. And imagining a law like GST, the consumption tax like GST, to be one in such a diverse country in India itself is threatening. To think itself is threatening, let me tell you, friends. To think itself is threatening because of the fact that the diversity, I mean, you need to balance somewhere. But then the Indian minds, the bureaucrats, the politicians, the thinkers, the intellectuals sat down together for more than a decade and came out with what is there today. Principally, if you see, it is an international law which all of us are learning. It is an international legislation which all of us are practicing or following. It is a boon for the younger generation of this country, for those of you who are also students of this course, that you develop on this more, you read on this more, and you have the world of 150 plus countries in front of you to work upon, to maybe win your bread and butter in those countries. Esteemed friends, the Indian GST experience is unique experience, unparalleled experience anywhere in the world, let me tell you. And Girish Ahuja was telling that this is a notification-based law. India is not the only exception. In majority of the countries, in all these 150 plus countries, consumption taxes are always notification-based. Why? Why? The reason is that consumption taxes are closely connected, or rather wedded to the economy of the country. They are dynamic in nature. Consumption taxes are dynamic in nature. As the economy of a country goes up and down, consumption taxes also change course. Consumption taxes also try to keep pace with the economy. Consumption taxes are tools in the hands of those who govern the country to keep themselves in power at all times. Consumption taxes are also tools in the hands of those who govern this country to ensure that social objectives are achieved through the ups and downs of consumption taxes. Consumption taxes are also tool in the hands of the political masters to ensure that they successfully face elections of the future. Esteemed friends, none can be away from this tax. Everyone is taxed, right from the child in the mother's womb to the one who goes to his grave. Each and every person contributes to the exchequer, which is in the form of GST. My good friend, I learned IFRS from Dr. Sanjeev Singhal. Not that I am a great exponent of IFRS, not that I practice this subject. Only thing is, okay, if there is something little I know, Dr. Sanjeev Singhal taught us some 10 years before. And today, if I want to know something, I just tell, no, I don't know this subject. It is not my area, it is someone else's area. And because for last about 3 decades now, practicing only in consumption taxes, it's become difficult for a person like me to read and to study some other subject, because these 3 decades I have fallen in love with the consumption taxes, which is like GST or whatever it is you may call it today. Esteemed friends, believe me when I tell you this, that the Indian GST is one of the most interesting of all the taxes. Dr. Girish Ahuja said that income tax is most difficult. I mean, he's a great man, he's a guru, Bhishma Pitama, so many titles can be given to him. But let me tell you humbly, I beg to differ, Dr. Girish Ahuja ji, GST is one of the most difficult, because an act which is so big, it can be read and read can be understood. But an act which is small, something in CA examination we say, if the question is long, the answer is in the question itself. It's very easy to answer. But if the question is small, it's going to be the most difficult question to answer. That is what we say in the Chartered Accountancy course. And that is in the Indian GST today. Esteemed friends, GST will change. GST will keep pace with change. And that is one reason why practicing these taxes, you can never grow old, or you will always be young. In mind, in heart, you will always be young, because this is one particular law which will always keep you on your toes. On your toes. Yesterday night, we had a 35-page notification. We were about to release a book on one particular area next month, a handbook on returns and payments in GST next month. Yesterday night, 35 pages notification has come, making a lot of amendments. And we are now embarked upon thoroughly revising our publication so that it can be released up to date next month. So friends, no one is an expert. No one can claim that I am the greatest of gurus in GST, because yesterday the law has changed. Today you are ignorant. Today you are illiterate in that particular subject. So one subject which keeps changing, one subject, the concept of learn, unlearn and relearn, GST is that subject. And I'm glad that today you're organizing this course. And let me tell you, you need to attend these type of courses again, again and again to keep pace with this ever challenging and ever interesting legislation. The Ramanujan College, the Indian Accounting Association, and all of you are to be credited for organizing this course and also attending this course. Thank you all for bearing with me for a few moments, and Dr. Sanjeev Singhal for bringing me to this forum of intellectuals. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajendra bhai. Thank you so much.
We are grateful to you.
Thank you so much, Shri C.A. Rajendra Kumar Saab. You have very lucidly brought out and highlighted not just the importance of GST in terms of our own economy, but also by informing us that now we have joined the League of 150 plus countries in terms of the consumption tax. Sir, you are so very right when you talked about that India is a word. Yes, we are a mini world with diversity, and that is why I think the unity in diversity is what has always been propagated and always looked at from the point of view of an objective. And I think it is, everybody is a learner, sir. And I really appreciated when you said that today you seem to be the guru of GST, tomorrow the amendment comes and you are illiterate and ignorant. I think that is what keeps everyone on toes, sir. And this is really a huge learning experience that you have given us. We are highly indebted to you for sparing your time despite all your personal problems. You made it a point to be with us. We really appreciate it and are grateful to you, sir. We have a message from Shri Sachin Jain Sahab, who is an IRS CNC 1999, who's at present the Deputy Director General of the Narcotics Control Bureau under the Ministry of Home Affairs in level 14 deputation basis for a period of 5 years. Unfortunately, on account of emergency meeting at the ministry level, Mr. Sachin Jain has not been able to join with us today, and he sends his regrets, but he sends his good wishes and blessings for the program in the next 7 days. Thank you so much, Mr. Sachin Jain, for all the efforts that you have made in terms of giving us your good wishes and making sure that the program runs successfully in the next 7 days. Now, I would like to request our patron, Professor Nageshwar Rao, who's the Vice Chancellor of Indira Gandhi National Open University, which is, I think, the largest in the world in terms of the Open University, to address us. Professor Nageshwar Rao has also held similar positions in the past. He was the Vice Chancellor of Uttarakhand Open University, Haldwani. Before this, he is also the chairman of National Task Force to develop parameters for assessing and crediting institutions. I think he is one of the most important members of his team. Professor Rao has also been the honorary vice chairman of Rashtriya Uchchatar Shiksha Abhiyan of Madhya Pradesh. He had received his DPhil from the University of Allahabad. He is also a cost and works accountant from the Institute of Cost and Management Accountants of India, Kolkata. Professor Nageshwar Rao is the author of many books and has also been the chair professor, Ambedkar Peeth Vikram University, Ujjain. He has been conferred with awards, including the Nehru Literacy Award of Indian Adult Education Association by none other than the Vice President of India. Sir, as always, we are very happy to have you with us to bless us in taking forward these programs which have been so well planned and taken up by our very, very initiative taking people right from Dr. S.P. Agarwal, who is the backbone, to Dr. J.L. Gupta and Dr. Sanjeev Singhal, in terms of giving the students a benefit of looking into and listening to the best of the minds in the country. Professor Nageshwar Rao, please, sir, to address the audience.
Good evening to all of you. My sincere thanks to Dr. J.L. Gupta and also to my friend S.P. Agarwal, Principal, Ramanujam College. I'm happy to see that this center, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching Training Learning Center of Ramanujam College, in association with the Indian Accounting Association NCR chapter, is organizing a 7-day faculty development program on taxation. Great initiative. Distinguished chief guest, Shri Ahuja ji, distinguished key speaker, Mr. Russell. We were listening to Rajendra Kumar ji, who was the chairman of GST and Indirect Taxes Committee of Institute, and my friend, Professor Soral. This is a great beginning. And when we are talking about the taxation, both the direct as well as indirect taxes, both are being covered in this 7-day faculty development program. Now, the direct taxes that we know mostly, that is the income tax, wealth tax. We are mostly worried about the corporate taxation also. The capital gains, set off and carry forward of losses. These are the important issues which are being taken into account, not only for the individual taxation or personal taxation, but also for the corporate taxation also. And we all are very much interested to know about these basics. During the last few years, simplification of this tax procedure, it has been made. And so many insights they have been put into. And we all have to update ourselves in all these processes. Similarly, the GST, it is a new tax regime in the domain of indirect taxes. And the entire country is now having only one tax, GST. Of course, the money collected, it is being shared with the center as well as the states. But since it is a new initiative and it was being implemented recently, lots of experimentations they are going on. And our experts, they have contributed a lot to make this process much more simpler and also easy to adapt. We are looking into it. I do remember when it was being implemented 2 years back. At that point of time, interstate movement of services, that was also being taxed. And even the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India at that point of time is in a state of confusion that how to go for it. The taxi has moved from Ghaziabad to Delhi. It is an interstate movement. And that service is also to be taxed. And that has caused a great embarrassment for so many organizations and so many individuals also. But Institute has made a representation and that issue has been resolved. So lots of issues they have been identified and all those issues, they have been covered by the government of India. And now it has become a matter of prestige for all of us that we are in a position to implement this single tax regime for the country as a whole. It is giving us good results. And this particular 7-day certificate program for the faculty and for the practitioners, this will definitely help all of us to understand that how to understand it, how to make it much more simpler, and how to help others in submitting the requisite returns, taking refunds, and pay the taxes. Timely intervention by the college. And when we look at the 7-day schedule, which was being explained initially by Sanjeev Singhal-ji, narrated clearly, it clearly shows that almost all the aspects which are required to cover this 7-day certificate course, it has been shown there. Learned experts, they will be there. And our participants, they will be benefited a lot because of this 7-day FDP. On this occasion, I convey my sincere best wishes to the college, to my colleagues, to my friends, JL Gupta ji and the SP Agarwal ji, who are taking such initiatives. And they all are having the social relevance also. Societal needs, they are being met because of these initiatives. So wishing you all the best. I request all the participants to take active interest in this entire process and try to gain and contribute to the welfare of the society and also contribute to the welfare of the nation. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. Thank you, Nageshwar ji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Nageshwar Rao. And I think, sir, we are very grateful to you for your words of wisdom. And I'm sure that the participants will definitely benefit out of this 7 days program. And not only that, I'm sure that the Ramanujam College and Indian Accounting Association, and of course, with Dr. Sanjeev Singhal and Dr. JL Gupta at the helm of the affairs, these are going to be now on a continuum basis that we shall have more of these programs to update and create value for our young professionals as well as learners and students alike. Thank you once again for being with us.
This is the beginning of a big event.
Yes, sir. This is the beginning. The seeds have been sown, and I'm sure, sir, we shall reap the fruits very, very soon. Thank you so much, Dr. JL Gupta and Dr. SP Agarwal and Dr. Sanjeev Singhal. We have in our midst Professor G. Soral, President, Indian Accounting Association, former Dean and Professor, Department of Accountancy and Statistics, Mohanlal Sukhadia University, Udaipur. My state too, sir. My father hailed from there, so I have a very special, affection for Rajasthan. Okay. And founder coordinator, National Accounting Talent. Professor Soral has held the position of Dean and Faculty Chairman, University College, Mohanlal Sukhadia University. He is an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad. He has more than 50 research papers to his credit and has contributed immensely to research in management and accounting, including research methodology, with, of course, an focus on accounting. Professor Soral has been invited to give lectures, and he has also been very, very active in the Indian Accounting Association, which is an interface between academicians, professionals, and practitioners from different facets of life, which includes industry, the government, corporates, and the universities. And with the main function as to promote and disseminate the knowledge of accounting in the related subjects, not only in India, but also to keep a tab on the global front. He has been taking an active interest in encouraging research in this area. I am sure, sir, with you being there at the helm of the affairs, that there will be more projects and more such programs which are going to be undertaken. We are very happy to have you in our amongst us, and we would like you to share your thoughts with our participants and audience. Professor G. Soral.
Thank you so much, Madam, for a nice introduction of my part. In this 7 days FDP cum certificate program on direct taxes and GST, organized by Ramanujan College and Indian Accounting Association NCR branch, all the stalwart speakers in absentia and present. I would name them CA Dr. Girish Ahuja ji, she has left, Professor Nageshwar sahab. Then we had Guthrie ji from IFAC, CA Rajendra Kumar ji, Mr. Sachin Jain, who couldn't join, but he has given his consent. Sanjeev Singhal sahab, I mean, all beginning with Sanjeev Singhal sahab in our NCR chapter, they are part of Indian Accounting Association. Dr. Rekha Dayal ji, Dr. J.L. Gupta sahab, Dr. S.P. Agrawal sahab, principal of the Ramanujan College, and ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I would like to congratulate the organizers of NCR branch of IA for organizing this event. The first communication to me sent by Dr. J.L. Gupta sahab regarding this event really started with me. In fact, like my predecessor speakers have mentioned, the type of speakers which the organizers put together for this faculty development program, I'm really moved. And as has been very rightly said, I mean, the list starts with none other than Girish Ahuja sahab. I mean, we all know that he was objecting in calling him veteran. Of course, we don't call him like that. But I would rather call him, he is a synonym of direct taxation, indirect taxation in the country. All CA students used to name him like that. So we were very fortunate to have him here. And like that, you know, Rajendra Kumar ji and even Sanjeev Singhal sahab and all of you. But, you know, in the list, I would like to some time in telling you about Dr. J.L. Gupta sahab. Dr. J.L. Gupta sahab is equally active at the national level in the Indian Accounting Association. But like what you all have described him, because you have been working him, you know, at your chapter level also, I would say, yes, very aptly said, he is perhaps the youngest in the team. The type of energy he is having, the type of contribution he makes, and the type of vision he is having. I would like to underline this also further. We all know about his vibration and his enthusiasm and his youth within him, but the type of vision he is having, madam, you would agree with me, which I have noticed off and on. And he is the founder of NCR chapter. We have been closely working on that, of course, with the Sanjeev Singhal sahab. But with that, I have seen one after the other, the quality of the programs which under leadership of J.L. Gupta sahab and of course with support of all of you. All of you are organizing. In fact, on behalf of the entire Indian Accounting Association, my accolades to all of you, particularly Dr. J.L. Gupta. Regarding this particular program, also I would like to mention that you see, I would add to my introduction also because that would be needing. In fact, I completed almost 4 decades of my tenure in the university recently, and very, very recently I have got superannuated. And once you organize a program on direct taxes and GST with all top people in the practice like this, Dr. J.L. Gupta and Dr. Sanjeev Singhal ji and S.P. Agrawal sahab, all of you need lot of praise for this. See, what are you doing? 140 participants I noticed just before, all faculty members from various parts of the country, including Udaipur. I motivated all of them. Let's see, it's a great program, you join it. Because as was mentioned by Rajendra Kumar ji, that the tax laws are changing so fast. And because many of your teachers who are dealing with these subjects with the young students are here, you know the type of difficulties which we face in translating all these complex laws, making them lucid and passing them on to the young students, even at the undergraduate level, is a great duty of the teaching profession here. But your effort in making an amalgam of professionals and academicians at this stage, and all these big names which you have made over here, all those who are now going to speak in various sessions, I understand they are very busy professionals. They may find very little time for such events. But my thanks to all of them on behalf of the association, that they came up for the cause of academy, they came up for the cause of training the faculties, which you all know that faculties are lighthouses. If you enlighten the lighthouses, things are going to matter a lot, and that would be the real service to the youngsters, to the nation. So, I really wish that you go ahead with the energy, with the experience, will all of you have, and the organizational capacities and the cohesiveness that you have, I would say, that you go on organizing such programs more and more. Regarding Indian Accounting Association, I would like to say a few things over here. Friends, now we have 54 branches, as many as that, including the NCR Delhi branch, and the 55th is in pipeline. Of course, let it come up ahead, then only we will declare that. Of course, Professor Dr. J.L. Gupta may be knowing about it. At the moment, we have 6,400 plus members. Many of you are all our respected members here. And this year, with support of all the fraternity in the country, Indian Accounting Association is taking several initiatives. I would like to name few of them here, keeping in view the paucity of time available. One such development initiative which this association has taken, and which will soon be coming out for information of all of you, particularly those who are teachers here, is that Indian Accounting Association has taken up the marathon task of developing a model curriculum for higher studies in accounting for the country. I am glad to share with you here that the work is going on smoothly. So far, we have come up with a draft curriculum, and internal meetings are going on. And maybe, hopefully, God willing, in a month or so, we will come up with an exposure draft for wider circulation and comments on this. And that would be really a service on behalf of all of us here for the nation. Friends, another milestone that your association has achieved this year is the about which some mentions have been made by my previous speakers. We all know about the International Accounting Standard Board and the IFRS. The association this year has made a commentary on one of the exposure drafts, which many of you professionals may be knowing. It's regarding the presentation of basic financial statements. And 30th September was the last date for submitting commentary on that exposure draft. I am glad to share with all of you that the association has made its own commentary, and it has been accepted by IFRS board, the IASB. I received the mail saying that now they are making it public on their website, that this is the view of Indian Accounting Association in this regard. And there are so many more, but one more only I will mention here because time is not permitting me. And that is regarding the the task which gladly our elder brother Dr. J.L. Gupta has taken up. This is the professional liaison of Indian Accounting Association with other bodies. In fact, I am glad to share here that both Sanjeev Singhal and J.L. Gupta sir are our honorable members of the Committee for Professional Liaison. They have been working very hard in this direction. I would particularly like to mention here that we are very keen, among others, to have a professional sort of an MOU or relationship with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India also, because there are so many very senior chartered accountants, including Sanjeev Singhal listening to me here. And in Dr. J.L. Gupta, I always used to find, you see, the reflection of so many veteran chartered accountants. Like he used to tell me when he used to study in Sri Ram College of Commerce, we have seen Girish, Ahuja and others. So to him also, I would say that we are very keen in having a liaison with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, particularly in two areas. One is research on international financial reporting standards, because you see the experience and the exposure which the professionals have, we need it. And in Indian Accounting Association, we, the teachers, the research scholars, a very good army of researchers are here. Let us join hands in contributing to the accounting thought to the world. In addition, we would also like to develop researches in the field of taxation, like what we have been discussing just before. Friends, I have been in academy for long, and I always feel that though PhDs and researches are coming up in a good number in academies, but perhaps in the field of taxation we are lacking. So on these two fronts, I still appeal to the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and particularly to my two friends who are already in the committee, Sanjeev Singhal Sahab and Dr. J.L. Gupta. Let us take this mission ahead and let us have a liaison with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India also. With that, I wish well the program. And the moment Gupta ji mentioned about the program being held, I telephoned to all my students everywhere in the country, don't miss this. And many of them have joined this program. I have high hopes that they will become better teachers to serve the country after joining this program. With all best wishes, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Soral. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Soral, for your very encouraging and inspiring words, sir. And I'm sure the quality of program that you have talked about, we are very, very, grateful to you for those words. And I think this is on the upward trend because we have each program, Dr. J.L. Gupta and Dr. S.P. Agarwal, they both do the SWOT analysis or the SWOT analysis as we call it. And they try to iron out all the creases and bring up the next program better than the other one. So I'm sure on that account, sir, we promise to you that we shall definitely be making each one better than the previous one. And I do hope that we, what you have hinted out to Shri Sanjeev CS, Dr. Sanjeev Singhal and Dr. J.L. Gupta, the liaison that you are hoping that we should have with the Institute of Chartered Accountancy, that should come through.
Sir, I would like to add.
Sir, please.
Sir, I would like to.
Yeah, please.
Who is holding the floor?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I think, ma'am, there is some connection problem, sir.
I think Dr. Sanjeev Singhal's,
Yes,
sir,
ma'am.
can you hear us? Dr. Sanjeev Singhal, can you hear us?
Dr. Sanjeev Singhal.
Sir, you are still not audible.
I think, ma'am, I think there's some network issue.
I think before I call upon Dr. Anjali to give the vote of thanks, could I
Rahul,
request?
Rahul.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm calling. That's why I said before I call upon Dr. Anjali, we have with us Shri C.A. Rahul Agarwal, and I do hope that you share your thoughts with us.
Hello.
Hello,
Yes.
Dr.
Yes, sir.
Singhal.
Ji, sir, you're audible now, sir.
Now you are audible.
आपको फोटो नजर नहीं आ रहा?
उनका वीडियो शायद डिस्कनेक्ट हुआ है, वीडियो शायद डिस्कनेक्ट हुआ है.
I think,
ma'am, I think we should,
Audio.
ma'am, request Rahul
Shri C.A. Rahul Agarwal ji, I have already made a request to Shri C.A. Rahul Agarwal ji.
Just,
If you could share your thoughts with us.
it's a pleasure working with Sanjeev sir. I am glad that he gave me such a brilliant opportunity to work with him on his book, and just that he has believed in me and provided me an opportunity, and I'm all thankful to him. So thanks. Just that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rahul. It is very
Thank
nice
you.
to have you with us. And
Thank
we
you,
do
ma'am.
hope that there are going to be many more projects in future.
Sure.
Uh,
Thank you.
Dr. Rekhatel, are you able to hear me now?
yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Yeah. So I'm happy to share that what was being proposed by Professor G. Soral. So this year, actually, we have invited the application for research in accounting by chartered accountants as well as by the professors. And we are giving a grant of up to 10 lakhs in the
Oh,
chosen
wow.
areas of research. This is vetted by a committee of experts, and if the proposal is accepted, ICI is giving up to 10 lakh rupees of the grant for doing the research. So any professor of Indian Accounting Association or any chartered accountant in India can apply for it. So it's already in place, sir.
Single sub, I would interrupt. In fact, I am myself applying. My proposal is ready. I am sending within 2 days.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you for this initiative of this. Yeah. Very nice initiative.
I think that is a great piece of information, Dr. Sanjeev Singhal, that you have shared with us, because this is going to encourage and bring out to the forefront the right kind of research in this area. And I'm sure this is going to be a very, very big incentive to people who possibly haven't got an opportunity but are now going to get this opportunity, golden opportunity, I would say, to work and to be with the best of the professionals in the country. Thank you so much for sharing this, and I do hope it comes through. We are looking forward to it. You shall be flooded with applications. Thank you, Dr. Sanjeev Singhal. Now I would request, before I call upon Dr. Anjali Gupta, who's an assistant professor at Atmaram Sanatan Dharm College of University of Delhi. Let me just share a few traits about her. Dr. Anjali Gupta is a great, I would say, executioner, because each time that we have a program that comes up, and she really takes it upon herself as a challenge in terms of preparation of all the brochures and everything, and has a very dedicated band of team members whom she has nurtured, inspired, and I am sure that the young colleagues have really learned a lot. अंजलि, तुम्हारे लिए मैं बहुत मुश्किल से रोक पा रही हूँ. मैं एक तुम्हारी शख्सियत से रिलेटेड एक शेर कहना चाहती हूँ. सफर में मुश्किलें आए तो हिम्मत और बढ़ती है. सफर में मुश्किलें आए तो हिम्मत और बढ़ती है. जब कोई रास्ता रोके तो हिम्मत और बढ़ती है. That is exactly what Anjali is like. Each time we come up with something and each time we create roadblocks, she just makes sure that she has what is called as the bulldozer with her and is able to steer ahead. So Anjali, now it's time for vote of thanks. Over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Whatever I am here today or whatever I am delivering, it is just because of what I have learned from all my mentors, Dr. J.L. Gupta sir and Rekha ma'am. Thank you for the kind words, ma'am. Honorable CA Dr. Girish Ahuja sir, respected special guest Mr. Russell Guthrie, our beloved Professor Nageshwar Rao sir, respected CA Rajendra Kumar sir, respected Mr. Sachin Jain sir, our valued invited guest Professor G. Soral, our very dear Dr. S.P. Agarwal sir, our very own Dr. J.L. Gupta sir, CA Dr. Sanjeev Singhal sir, and Dr. Rekha Dayal ma'am, my team members of the organizing committee, and all respected participants. A very good evening to all from my side. It's my privilege to have been given an opportunity to propose a vote of thanks. I, on behalf of Teaching Learning Center Ramanujan College and Indian Accounting Association NCR chapter, and on my own behalf, extend a heartiest vote of thanks to all the valued dignitaries and participants for gracing this inaugural session of 7-day certificate course, Faculty Development Program on Direct Taxes and GST, organized by Indian Accounting Association NCR chapter and TLC Ramanujan College under the Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching, Ministry of Education, Government of India. We must mention our deep sense of appreciation to CA Dr. Girish Ahuja sir for sharing his views and knowledge about direct taxation. Sir is a diva, guru, and idol for all of us. We all young academicians look up to him for his guidance. He, to his credit, has a vast ocean of knowledge in direct taxation, and we tax teachers of university as well as in profession are obliged to have been given even a droplet of that knowledge to benefit our students. Thank you, sir, for making us understand income tax through your respected teaching and sessions from time to time. Sir, we really look forward to the new redrafted Income Tax Act as discussed here in your address. I express my sincere thanks to Mr. Russell Guthrie for adding to our knowledge through an intellectual discussion on global position and professional scope of accountancy with special emphasis on role of IFAC USA. The contribution of IFAC to SDG's role are well appreciable and must be taken as an inspiration by all the other accounting forums globally. Sir, your analysis on trust in taxation in G20 countries is highly treasurable. We wish to express our grateful and special recognition for Professor Nageshwar Rao sir for highlighting the importance of updation required to be undertaken by academicians and professionals working in the area of taxation from time to time. We are grateful to CA Rajendra Kumar sir for expressing and sharing his knowledge on GST. Sir, your beautiful explanation about implementation of GST, the consumption tax in the diverse country India was treasurable. Sir, your positive thoughts are well conveyed and accepted by all of us. We look forward to same, sir. We would like to acknowledge our gratitude to Mr. Sachin Jain, sir, for accepting our invite. He, due to an urgent meeting, could not join us and has conveyed his best wishes. Sir, we are thankful to you for your wishes and look forward to your presence in our programs in near future. We are thankful to Professor G. Soral, sir, for throwing light on the duty of teaching fraternity to update themselves before sharing their knowledge with the youngsters, which are the future of our country. We would like to express our gratitude, sir, to you for appreciating the activities and endeavors of Indian Accounting Association NCR chapter. Sir, we want to place on record here that our mentors, Dr. J.L. Gupta, sir, and Dr. Sanjeev, sir, at NCR chapter believe in collaboration, and we look forward to same with Indian Accounting Association main branch from time to time. We also would like to thank CA Rahul Agarwal sir for his presence in his session here, and we congratulate sir for his book for which he gave us the really opportunity that we could unveil it here in this session. And we just look forward to more such books from his side. I express our sincere gratitude to Dr. S.P. Agarwal sir for his unconditional continuous support in all our endeavors enlisted by sir. Under his leadership, the Ramanujan College has attained new heights and has done wonders in the University of Delhi. I would like to thank our very beloved and respected Dr. J.L. Gupta sir for his support, encouragement and guidance, which are greatly responsible for the inception and conduct of the programs of this teacher. His unwavering support and hard work leads to such programs. I wish to express my appreciation for Dr. Rekha Dayal ma'am and CA Dr. Sanjeev Singhal sir for their inspiring mentorship from time to time. I take this opportunity to thank all our team members, Dr. Abha Vadva ma'am, CA Vaibhav Bhatnagar sir, Dr. Anshika Agarwal, Dr. Purushottam Kumar Arya, and Ms. Charu Sareen for their tireless efforts and diligently carrying out their duties. Special thanks goes to Mr. Akhil and Mr. Prashant for taking care of all the administrative aspects of the FDP for us. I'm running short of words to express my humble thanks to all the participants who, with their kind presence, have helped us accomplish what we have dreamt of. I would like to sincerely apologize if I have missed out on somebody, but thank you once again to all of you. With this, we come to the end of this session today, and we meet for the technical sessions from tomorrow onwards.
Thank you, Anjali.
Thank you, sir.
Or jate, I think based on what everyone has said, and this is particularly both for Dr. J.L. Gupta and Principal Dr. S.P. Agarwal sir, सिर्फ हंगामा खड़ा करना मेरा मकसद नहीं, सिर्फ हंगामा खड़ा करना मेरा मकसद नहीं, मेरी कोशिश है कि ये सूरत बदलनी चाहिए. सो ये दोनों ही शख्सियत सूरत बदलने की चेष्टा में लगे हुए हैं. And I think each one of us is grateful to them for what they are doing and contributing towards it. Thanks to everybody, and we meet tomorrow.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.